Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Bite a Geek. Today I'm going to be just taking a bit of a look back at the last few months of ownership of the Keychron K8 keyboard. This was a project I backed on Kickstarter back in August last year. Link to the video up above if you want to see more about that. I'm really just kind of going through 5 of my kind of like pros and cons of this keyboard now that I've been using it for a number of months. So yeah, let's get to it. So I got this keyboard back in August 2020 and I've been using it as my daily keyboard now ever since. But there's some stuff that really kind of annoys me and you know, some stuff that I really like. So the first one is the size of the keyboard really. I guess the size and the weight. You know, given this keyboard's got you know, a large battery in it, I think you know the size is absolutely superb. You know, it sits neatly on the desk, and you know I bought this with the wooden palm rest as well, which I was a little bit unsure about, but as it is, it turns out you know it's actually really comfortable to use. So you know I think coming from a larger size keyboard, this is a great size for everyday use really, and you know I've become used to that size very quickly. And also, as I say, you know, with that large battery in it and the weight and everything, you know, the battery life is absolutely superb. You know, you can, when this thing's fully charged, I tend to just leave it on. It goes off into auto sleep, and you know, it is used constantly all day long, and the battery just seems to last for ages. So I think that's a real bonus with this keyboard. So one of the downsides for me is the location of the USB port on the keyboard. The left-hand side annoys me immensely. I think they should have put it in the center at the back, like pretty much all keyboards are. And you know, I guess you know there's a reason why they've done that, because that's where the switches are and everything. But you know, it very much dictates you know, if you're going to connect it to your PC, if you're going to have it in non-wireless mode, you know, which side your PC is located. But also, you know, if you plug it into charge and you also want to use it at the same time, then you would have a socket nearby to be able to do that. I think if they do, you know, what you end up with is you end up with a cable strewn across your desk, and I think actually, you know, if they'd actually put it in the center at the back, I think it would have actually been a little bit better. So that's one of the annoyances that I've got with the keyboard. So one of the other issues that really kind of got to me early on was the fact of the keyboard layout, and that it wasn't a UK specific layout. Obviously, you know, I'm in the UK, so you know there's a bit of a compromise on that then. I know you can kind of, you know, download various bits of software to go and reprogram some of the keys and everything, but ultimately the keycaps are all labeled incorrectly, and it's been pretty much impossible to get anything from Keychron with regards to this. The replacement keycaps are constantly out of stock and they don't know when it's going to come back in. Obviously there are aftermarket keycaps, but they're almost the same price as what the keyboard actually cost. So it is a bit frustrating. So on the plus side, I have actually got used to the layout relatively quickly. You know, it's not the end of the world, and you know, I'm sure I can probably work something out going forward. You know, but it is just slightly frustrating not to have a keyboard labelled up in the way that you would want it out of the box. So one of the other positives really is since my initial unboxing and review of it, what I've discovered is there's way more RGB effects on this keyboard than what I initially thought there were. And some of them are really quite good actually, and this is all built into the keyboard, so you don't need any fancy software in order to do anything with that. And yeah, you know, there's some really great effects. If you're a fan of RGB keyboards, you would absolutely love this keyboard. So the slight annoyance for me really is that the RGB key on the keyboard in the top right hand corner that you press to change modes, really, you know, if you kind of just sat there all day just typing away on a keyboard, it's generally not a problem. If you're actually doing lots of stuff around your keyboard and things like that, it's way too easy to accidentally just catch that key and you know it just changes mode. It's a single key press to change mode. You know, they have you know, function and other keys for various other things, and I think it would have been good to have implemented function plus that key in order to change mode. But again, you know, not the end of the world. It may not impact you as a user. But for me, you know, I often find that all of a sudden I'm in a completely different mode, or I've got no RGB effect on the keyboard at all. So minor thing, but just a slight annoyance. Now, I bought this keyboard with the brown switches, and I have to say they are absolutely superb. They're really, really quick. It's a joy to type on for me, and you know, I have had no real issues with them at all compared to, you know, things that you sometimes get with other keyboards and their switches that they use. I guess the only real downside that I've noticed with it is quite loud, and certainly when I've been on you know, Zoom calls or something like that, people have commented when I'm typing that actually, you know, somebody's got a loud keyboard. So that's probably the only downside. And obviously, you know, I did actually get the one which had the non-replaceable switches, so I'm pretty much stuck with these. But you know, that's the way it is. I can always put myself on mute when I'm on Zoom, so just something to bear in mind, really. You know, the switches, the brown switches, you know, they're fine for what I need. They're good in daily use. They're just a little bit louder than maybe what I anticipated they would have been. Hindsight's such a great thing, and obviously, you know, with something like this, you can't test it out first before you get the finished product. So not the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, it's something to be aware of. So finally, for me, the real bonus with this keyboard is the ability to be able to switch between multiple devices. You know, a couple of key presses and you're on one computer, and you know, you press keys again and you're on another computer. It is a relatively pain-free process, and I say that because it is a little bit slow. You know, it takes a few seconds to do it, and sometimes, and you know, I'm not attributing this to the keyboard. You know, it may be the keyboard, it could be the Bluetooth receiver in the computers. Sometimes it will stop working on a particular computer, and sometimes what will happen is you'll start typing, and then all of a sudden you'll get some uppercase letters in what you're typing, and then it'll go back to lowercase. So, you know, as I say, more than likely not the keyboard, could well be the computers. It certainly doesn't do that when it's connected via cable. You know, when it's on cable, it just runs absolutely fine. So, yeah, in the whole aspect of that, you know, obviously lots of manufacturers have got, you know, the various different receivers for Bluetooth. So, you know, it's trying to make it as compatible as possible, I guess. But you know, for the most part, it works absolutely fine. So overall, I think, you know, it's been a good project to back on Kickstarter. I think it's a very good keyboard. It's a good daily use keyboard. And yes, there's a couple of niggles there. Some of them probably could be addressed with firmware updates. Some of them are design issues, which maybe Keychron take forward into future products. But, you know, I'm happy overall with it. Battery life's fantastic. And, you know, the ability to be able to switch to multiple devices at this price point is just absolutely superb. So, you know, let me know your thoughts, guys. You know, if you've got one of these, are you experiencing any of those issues? And, you know, do you agree with me on some of these points in the with regards to the design? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. As always, any questions or anything like that, you know, drop them down below, and I'll, you know, do my best to try and answer them for you. But for now, thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.